outcome of the event?
I think the event was a success. I think we had a nice group of people from the community and also from campus. I think the weather couldn't have been any better for something like this. And to be able to walk and to be a visible group of people who say, you never know someone's process until you've walked a mile in their shoes, and to be a presence on Lincoln, which is a main road, I think it was a success.
Okay. And why is an event like this needed on the campus and in the community?
Well, I think the dialogue has shifted a little bit. I think before there were a lot of messages like, watch your drink and don't go out alone and don't do this. And while there are those are important things to know, to be aware that, if you don't watch your drink, it increases vulnerability that someone might drop a date rape drug. Or if you are out alone, it does increase vulnerability in the sense that someone might take advantage of the fact that you're alone. But really, it boils down to so much more, and that is that we all need to take a stand and work together to acknowledge that it's so much more than a message that means don't get yourself into a situation that could lead to a sexual assault. That doesn't make a lot of sense. It's more about, we want to demand a community. We want to demand respect within our interactions with one another. And those who have been sexually assaulted or experienced sexual violence, we don't know a thing about their process until we've walked a mile in their shoes. And even after we've walked a mile in their shoes, it's a different experience for us than for them. So we need to be able to come together in support of individuals who've been sexually victimized. And this is a perfect way to do it. But again, I think the message has changed, and we need to encourage respect within our interactions. We need to open up a dialogue and hold everyone accountable for changing the dialogue, for supporting survivors, and for having an expectation that sexual violence will not occur.
Okay. And I know you said something about over the past years it has been kind of hushed. Why do you think so? Why do you think over the past years it's been hushed?
Well, sexual violence is an uncomfortable topic. People don't really like to talk about it. Survivors who do come forward, sometimes they're met with a message that it was in some way their fault.
Right.
People also like to distance themselves from sexual victimization because it makes us feel safer. If we kind of remind ourselves or tell ourselves, well, that wouldn't happen to me because I don't go to those parties, or I don't hang with those kind of people, or I don't, and those are really false senses of security, because sexual violence occurs and there's no one idea of who an offender would be, and I think it gives us a false sense of security to distance ourselves from the topic. Well, that wouldn't happen to me. And what we know as professionals who work with survivors, it happens to everyone. There is no specific one kind of person that is sexually assaulted, because offenders are looking for people who are vulnerable. Offenders are very manipulative and oftentimes have a way in which they do things, and they oftentimes are repeat offenders.
Okay. And what does this walk say to survivors?
We're here for you. And we know that we cannot judge your process until we've walked a mile in your shoes, and we can't walk a mile in your shoes. I saw a cute little meme on Facebook the other day that said, "How deep is the mud?" And it was a picture of a little chihuahua who had mud up to its chest, almost to its neck. And then there was a golden retriever who had mud halfway up its legs. It's all about perspective, So we don't know somebody's experience until we've seen from their own perspective, which is impossible to do. But for a survivor to see a group of people who are saying sexual assault is not okay, it is never the victim's fault, we are here for you, that means a lot. And so that's really what this walk is all about. That's really what I hope that anyone who was walking by or who was in the park today who identifies as a survivor of sexual violence can take away from this, that they are supported. And those people in that pavilion over there don't know my process, but they support me, you know, and that's really the bottom line. We're looking for people who will support, openly support, and have a dialogue.